put all this out. All right.
Oh, it even shows on the computer.
We're playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe Edition. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for watching Zaynes World. We are starting a new game, the Stanley Parable. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe Edition. It's about a 12, 13-year-old game. I think it came out back in 2013. And then they made I think they made a sequel to it, and then this Ultra Deluxe Edition where they made the graphics a little better. It's supposed to be pretty much the same game, so we're gonna find out. Begin the game. Let's go.
There's a computer and a computer.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard.
427!
Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley
Sounds like he was
happy.
He's happy.
And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget.
Somebody put decaf in the coffee pot.
He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened. This
Sounds like a great day at work.
Isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Maybe it's just not the work night?
That's a horrible window.
I want to see if I can spy on people. Nope. I wanted to spy on them.
Oh, I thought we were like watching a movie. You're walking them around.
Yeah. You have to control the game.
I thought it was still like showing
Well,
us
I
the
just
intro.
kept behind the...
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Nope.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Little hungry.
Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Nope.
The door on the left.
I know.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't 5 years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time.
Damn
There's
right.
someone you've been neglecting, Stanley.
Numero
Someone
uno.
you've forgotten about.
We're a player,
Please,
not Stanley.
stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
Uh-oh.
This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself, to put your work aside, to let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
I actually want to go back.
Go
now.
get her.
Yeah, I'm going to go back now and get
Oh,
her.
what's up there? I'm curious. B1.
There's something.
B1. B4. It's too late.
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this. to reach out to her. If you
Unplug
can
it.
truly place your
No.
faith in another.
Why is the phone plugged into an electrical socket?
What happened? It all just went.
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Gotcha! Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
Yeah.
Nope.
Sorry, but you're in my story now.
Let me out. I'm not going in. I guess unfortunate.
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
Open up.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence.
That point.
Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life. But in his mind, he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful. And each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him.
Well, if I don't press it, will it get angry at me?
And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly. So he went further. He imagined that he came to 2 open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold. As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable. It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time.
Just one more time.
But there is no answer. How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one. And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
Okay.
Says not to do it, so we're doing it. We're not gonna do it, though.
He'll probably, if you wait long enough, he'll probably say something.
What do we do? I think think it forces you to press it.
Then press it.
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself? I suppose I can't, not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried.
Oh, it resets you back at the very start.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Ooh, that's so nice.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845.
And that's the
But
number
of
is
course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing.
Absolutely
He stepped
good,
into the
yeah.
newly opened passageway.
Psychic.
Well, he told me.
Well, if he actually told us the secret.
Yeah. I don't know where I'm
Where
going
did we get a
anymore.
brown one? We got like 10 silver ones. Where'd this come from?
Oh, that's a fox.
Descending deeper into the
Our
building,
silver ones are
Does
Stanley
not
wolves.
answer my
realized he felt a
question.
bit peculiar.
That's a fox. The
It
silver
was a
ones are
stirring
wolf.
of emotion
Does
in his
not answer
chest,
my
as though he
question.
Yes,
felt
it
more
does.
free
I said,
to
where'd it
think
come
for
from?
himself, to question
don't
the
know.
nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him?
Just
This
arrived.
question would not
No clue
go
where it came
unanswered
from.
for long.
I'm running. I'm running.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the
Mind
large door
control
that read
facility.
Mind Control Facility.
Escape.
Should I?
P. Sherman, 32 Wally B. Bay.
Should I?
Escape.
Should I though? No, I'm gonna go to mind control.
Right, I think I remember that. Look, I can read.
The lights rose on an
Escape.
enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Yes.
I think I was at a raid at something that looked just like that in Hollywood back in the night.
Now the monitors jumped to life,
Yeah.
their true nature revealed. Each
Fire.
bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Where are we?
They call it the mind control facility. I think that looks like YouTube right there. Look at all those channels. But
Yeah.
we're
True.
all slaves,
We're 470?
demanding views.
We're right there.
Subscribe. Like
478.
right now.
We're 478, and that's our office right there.
We're 427.
Oh, what?
427 right there.
I want to see
Go out on
ourselves.
that platform.
Oh yeah, that's our room. Now what button do we push?
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only
Absolutely.
reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Yes?
No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable.
Never.
Wasn't it?
There's a 601.
Was it even possible?
Unthinkable.
Had he
601.
truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
Brought to you by our corporate sponsor, Zaynes World.
Oh no, oh no,
But
oh
here
no.
was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy,
controls
What did
or
that say?
sad, or content. Walking,
Mind
eating,
control status
working.
bar.
All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the
it's a
cold
hotline,
reality
is
of
that
his
why everything's
past
gone?
began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
If I remember right from like 10 years ago, you think you're about to win, and then it starts back over in the very beginning.
Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control?
Yes, absolutely.
Stanley,
Let's
I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's
control.
only so much that machine can do.
I have
You
faith
were
in you.
supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that.
What's
I'm
the
afraid
code
you
say?
don't have nearly the power you think you
No,
do,
don't
for
back down.
example, and I believe
Trying to
you'll
read the
find
code.
this pertinent.
You can't. It's
Stanley
all
suddenly
it's all
realized
Japanese.
he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without
Turn
proper
off.
DNA identification, nuclear detonators are said to explode,
We all
eliminating
gonna
the
party.
entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say,
Right
2
about
minutes.
now.
Ah, now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley?
Okay, now you
it's
got a puzzle
your
to
time
do.
to shine. You are the
Listen.
star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh,
It
this
goes-
is
start
much
looking at
better
stuff,
than what I
pushing
had in
colors
mind.
and
What a
buttons.
shame
There's
we have so
something.
little
1,
time left
2.
to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off.
Did you push
but
those?
what precious moments each
Okay,
one
look
of them
around for
is.
3 and 4.
More time
We know
to talk
5's
about
up
you,
top.
about me, where we're
5's
going,
right there.
what all this means.
1's
I
up top.
barely know where
No,
to
One's
one-
right
start.
over there.
1, 2.
One's right there, one's up top, and one's
You'd like to know
behind
where
you.
your co-workers are. A moment of
There's 3.
solace before you're
That's gonna
obliterated.
be 4.
All right,
top,
I'm in a
and then
good
5
mood.
back there.
You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I
What a
have to say
happy
this,
fella.
though, this version of events has been rather amusing.
Try to look for colors. There's
Watching
color
you try to make
buttons.
sense of
I
everything
don't know, look
and take
around.
back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better.
Circle, try it.
My
Circle
goodness,
with
only
your- they're all
34
circles
seconds
going-
left. But I'm
Colors
enjoying
here.
this so much. You know what? To hell
Blue
with
was
it.
the last
I'm
one,
going to
hit
put
blue.
some extra time on the clock. Why not?
Was the last one. hit
These are
blue.
precious additional
know.
seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees.
Nope. Look around.
Oh,
Maybe
dear
there's
me.
a
What's the
clue.
matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be
Blue
doing
3.
right now?
3 is blue.
Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable
Look,
of
you
turning
passed
it
some
off?
stuff. Look at it as you pass it.
Running from
We don't have
button
to
to
go
button,
far back and
screen to
forth.
screen, clicking on
Okay.
every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones. Or
go
maybe
down.
this big red button, or
Big
this
red.
door. Everything,
Red. Look
anything,
around,
something
where's big red
here will
button?
save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have
Three
any
is blue.
idea what your purpose in this place is?
We've already been here.
You're
but
in for
you're
quite a
passing
disappointment.
me.
But here's a spoiler
You're
for
not
you.
looking at everything.
That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death.
Did you
You're
click
only
that?
still playing instead
Yeah,
of
I
watching a cutscene because I
clicked
want to
it, but it
watch you
didn't
for
work.
every
All right.
moment that you're powerless.
I think
to
he's
see
just
you made humble.
tricky.
This is not a challenge. It's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's
purple.
fine. But I'm going to destroy it first, so you
3 is blue,
can't.
2 is purple.
Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30
blue.
seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big
Click
boom and then
the
nothing.
button, see what it
No
says.
ending here.
That's
Just
it.
you being blown to pieces.
I think there's somewhere
Will
else.
you cling desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully?
You gotta go to the
Another
computer
choice.
that's open.
Make it count.
Can't.
Or don't. It's all the same to me. All a part of the
I think
joke.
it was all
And
for
believe
nothing.
me,
He's just
I
going
will
quick
be
that.
laughing at every second of your inevitable life
That's
from
Can't.
the moment
the
we
big red
fade
button.
in until the moment I say
Yeah, I think
happily
no matter
ever
what
after.
you did would have mattered. He was just
The end is
That's
never.
what
The
I've
end
seen
is never the end. is
yeah,
it?
yeah, I told you.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
This is supposed
Stanley
to
decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
do it all again and things will be slightly different later.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
What if I don't go to the boss?
Yet there was not a single person
Yeah, you
here
gotta watch
either.
the face.
Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office,
see that.
hoping he might
Wait,
find an
wait.
answer there.
Stop
What are you doing?
watching.
I know, but I want to get some good to do core values, expenditures, ship goals, mark prepaid, monetize. Using slides to assure employees that everything is okay. Make sure that your slide has slick blue graphic in the header and everyone is unique. You most of all.
No, no, no.
Stock market somewhere here, colored in segment stripe. Target demographic teenagers. Reddit wishes charts on the same slide depict the same information. Profit, profit, profit. I'm just, from memory, I'm thinking that something was on some. Weekly target. Marketing office. Ideas. Prospect.
Panic meeting.
Do not alter without consulting the whiteboard man.
I'm getting blown up.
Don't. Tips on not getting fired. Talk list. To unbelievably amazing work all the time, every day, with no exception on promotion. Let me. Okay, go ahead. No, I don't. I'm not even gonna read it.
Stanley
Yeah,
stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
Stay in here. Watch. He'll start saying things like, "For some reason, he just won't leave
There was
this."
nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here.
Yeah, I remember this. He'll get ruder and ruder.
I closed the door on myself.
Oh, you already left. It doesn't matter. Go.
Yoink.
No, it,
It was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it
Okay.
is, he's literally just standing there doing sweet FA.
Going through.
You're effing around.
Are you really still in the broom closet? Standing around doing nothing? Why? Please offer me some explanation here. I'm genuinely confused.
I'm hiding. I'm hungry.
I'm hungry for this one.
You do realize there's no choice or anything in here, right?
No.
If I'd said Stanley
Chocolate
walked
chip cookie.
past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out. But it didn't even occur to me because literally this closet is of absolutely no significance to the story whatsoever.
Not
I
at
never would have
all.
thought to
I want to
mention
make him angry.
Come on, Richard. He'll do it like 10 more. Don't, come on. Go. We're wasting so much time at this point. Come on. I just did it to show the point, not to...
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
No.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life.
No, it's just okay. We gotta
Now,
finish the
hearing the
level,
voice speak these
we're
words was
running out
quite
of
a
hard
shock to
space
Stanley.
real fast.
After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a
just need to
dream.
transfer
Did
stuff
the voice
over
not
to
see
a
him float and make the
external
magical
hard
stars
drive.
just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment and my wife and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
Okay.
Stanley began screaming. Please,
Exit
someone
sign
wake
from
me up. My name
subliminal.
is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
Here.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
Whoa.
Mariella woke up on a day like any other.